Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I hope that you're having a fantastic day. I always feel a little weird when I start a video like with nothing on my face, but I like doing my intros like in real time. I don't know, for me it's so weird to like film an intro once my makeup's on at the end of the video because it's the first thing you see, but then the last thing that I recorded. I don't know, it just feels weird. Random fact there. All right, so today we are gonna be playing with some new makeup. Some of this is completely new and some of it's just new to me. I do not discriminate. If it's new to me, I consider it new. If this is your first time here, hi, I'm Ashley, and I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button. It makes me happy inside, it makes you happy inside, and I have a monthly giveaway for my subscribers where I give away a $250 Sephora gift card, so that's fun too. Okay, so I have already prepped and primed my skin. I just went in with a moisturizer and then this Always an Optimist from Rare Beauty, this prime and set spray. I really like it, so I've been using that under my makeup lately. And I have done my brows. I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pen and then my very favorite, the Benefit 24-hour brow setter. So I'm using those today. I went ahead and did my brows because I don't know. I just did. Today, I'm gonna be trying the Dior Forever Skin Glow Foundation. This claims to have a medium coverage and a radiant finish. Those are things that I really like. So we're gonna try it. Going into this with the knowledge that I have never ever owned a Dior foundation that did not oxidize on my skin. Every Dior foundation I have ever tried turns orange on my skin. I don't know what it is about my skin or the foundation. I'm not sure who's to blame here or if it's just a chemistry issue, but I'm really hoping that this doesn't happen to me again. So we're gonna see. I'm wearing the shade 2N. I have shaken this up a little bit because it does have an SPF 35 in it. Anytime stuff has an SPF, I find that you definitely need to shake it just to get that like distributed throughout, because I feel like foundations that have an SPF, in my experience, tend to separate a little more than foundations that don't. Again, I don't know if that's just chemistry or my own personal weird luck. I'm gonna use my favorite foundation brush to apply this. This is the Zoeva Silk Finish Brush, a number 102, and I'm gonna just apply and we're gonna see how this works. All right, so this half of my face is done. I am in the shade 2N is the shade I picked up, and I feel like that's a really, really good match. I just self-tanned. I can tell that this is just a touch light, where it's probably still gonna work once my self-tan starts to wear off, like at least for the next, 2 or 3 days, which is about what I expect from a foundation or what I need. I need it to just match me for like the entire life cycle of my self-tan. So I do find this to be a really good color match. I also really like the coverage. I went in really lightly and I think that I can still, I know, I can still see my skin, which I love. My skin looks skin-like. I also really like the finish. I feel like it's nice, radiant. I definitely see that it's a little bit radiant, but it doesn't feel overly shiny to me at all. And I don't notice any issue with the little bit of texture that I have on my nose and on my forehead right now. So far, so good. I do want to point something out. It just occurred to me while I was putting on the other side of my face, there is a fragrance in this. I mean, not that I should have known that. I'm sure that it was mentioned somewhere or, was in the ingredients. But as I'm putting this on, the fragrance is pretty strong. It's definitely like florally. It's very much like, if you've ever worn like Dior, Chanel, any of those brands, like those like high-end department store makeup brands, they all tend to have this similar scent. I will be honest, I don't really love that scent. I can't believe that I forgot about that. I don't know why. I just wasn't expecting it to be so ever present. And it's really a reason why, like, I used to use a few Chanel skincare products. That seems unrelated, but it's not. And the reason that I ended up like completely cutting them out was because the fragrance is very irritating to my skin. So as I'm putting this on right now, I can tell that my skin is probably not going to love this because of the fragrance, which sucks because I feel like it's, again, a nice finish. I like the coverage. It's everything I would like, but I can feel my skin. I can just feel like, you know, like the pre-itch, like that feeling you get with your skin like before it starts to itch. That's what I feel right now. So this is not going to be something that I use. And wow. Oh, I'm like kind of disappointed with myself that I didn't look more into the fragrance part, but this had good reviews. I mean, it's just, the more like I'm doing my face, like it dissipates once it dries down. But as I'm putting it on, that fragrance is kind of bothering me. So yeah, I don't think this is probably not going to be something I really enjoy. Which is a little bit of a bummer because for concealer, I have the Dior Forever Skin Concealer. So literally the same exact line. I'm using 1N. I wonder if this is as fragranced as... See, now this doesn't seem like it's as fragranced as the foundation. I don't understand why they would put that much fragrance in a foundation. It goes all over your skin. Why would they do that? I don't get it. All right, let's go in with this. Again, I've got the shade 1N. I think I'm gonna go in with a Real Technique sponge. All right, so the concealer, I like the way that it's sitting. I feel like it's the right tone for me, the right shade. It doesn't have a fragrance like the foundation does. I mean, I don't know if there's an actual, I mean, there could be a fragrance in here and I'm just not picking up on it. But it really doesn't, it doesn't smell like, there's no noticeable fragrance to me, which again is confusing. I don't understand why you put any fragrance in any of it, to be honest, but especially why you would put it in the foundation and then not in the concealer. I guess because it goes into your eyes, but so does this. So just why? I'm gonna use this to brighten up the middle of my face as well. All right, I'm gonna set with something that's not new. I'm gonna set with my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder, just because otherwise I feel like if I use a new powder, I'm so finicky about powders. So if I use a new one, I am probably not gonna get a very good first impression of the concealer, which honestly, I really like how the concealer looks under here. It's not creasing. It's got, I mean, the way that it's sitting is really nice. It looks refreshed under there. It doesn't feel drying. It doesn't look drying. So I'm just kind of disappointed that they, you know, dropped the ball on the foundation, in my opinion, just because of the fragrance. I mean, I think if you don't mind fragrance, then that probably won't be an issue for you. But for me, I wouldn't say that I'm like, if there's a little bit of a fragrance to something, that doesn't generally bother me. But I mean, this is perfumey. It's very perfumey, and I just can't go for that. Let me know in the comments below, do you like how do you feel about fragrance in foundations and in makeup? Like, if it's too much, I mean, like, where's the line for you? That's way over the line for me. All right, let's go into eyes. I am gonna prime my lids with a little bit of translucent powder. And then I have a new palette I'm trying that I'm so excited about because you guys, I have not used something from this brand in so long. And I absolutely used to love this brand. And I'm actually kind of really excited to be trying this palette today. It is the Lorac Pro Palette Noir. So I was so in love with the original Lorac Pro palette. That was just like, I remember that palette was my ride or die. I still have my original one. I love that palette. So I'm excited to try this one. I was on Ulta because I wanted to pick up a couple new MAC eye brushes, and they carry MAC brushes. And I also wanted to get a lotion. So I was like, okay, they have both of those on Ulta. And when I saw the Ulta new releases and they had this, I was so excited. So they've gone to like a soft touch black packaging, which I love. It really reminds me of NARS packaging, which I love. So I'm excited about this. And look, when you open it up, it's got this little sheet that has the shade names. The shades are under here. And then this comes down. So it can lay flat. So it can lay completely flat. That is so cool. I'm gonna keep the shade names right here where I can see them. I'm gonna go in with Ecru. I like that they have what I feel like is a nice all over shade. So I'm gonna put that all over, just where I literally could have just probably skipped the translucent powder because they have this shade in here, but I didn't look ahead of time, so I didn't realize it. I love when palettes have a skin tone matte shade, just because I feel like you can put it all over the lid and everything blends so much nicer when you have that like base down. And I think that they have like this whole top row is matte. So, I mean, this is a good shade. You could mix these two. They probably have a pretty good shade for most people that you could do all over the lid. So I like that a lot. I'm gonna go in with Soft Taupe. I'm gonna use that as a transition shade. So I'm gonna put it a little bit over my crease, kind of just with a natural shadow above my creases right here. I'm gonna take the same brush and go into Sable. I know that Sable was definitely in the original Lorac Pro palette. That name sounds so familiar. And these shadows so far, they're blending beautifully. They're a great formula. It just, I mean, again, just takes me back to the original Pro palette. I loved that palette. Oh my gosh, it was so good. I have not used that palette in so long because even though I still have mine, it is like definitely broken all to heck because it's been through so much. I mean, the one I have is the original one that I bought like when it was still new years ago. So it has definitely been through some stuff. I'm gonna use a smaller brush now and take the shade Smoke and just define my crease a little bit more. All right, I'm gonna go in with a flat shader brush. I'm gonna spray some setting spray on here. Again, using the Rare Beauty one, the only thing I liked from the Rare Beauty launch. No shade, just honest. I'm gonna take this shade Primrose. This looks like kind of like a dark champagne. So I'm gonna put that like on the inner corner of the lid and the outer corner of the lid. It's very shimmery. Ooh, I like it. I'm gonna spray my brush again and I'm gonna take Whisper, which looks like a lighter champagne shade, very shimmery again. And I'm gonna put that on the middle of the lid, just like on the ball of my eye to try to make my eye seem like more round this way. Very nice, I'm a big fan. Gotta brush my lashes out though. I'm like shedding a little bit. The fall is a time when apparently humans shed their lashes. So I've been shedding a few more lashes than normal lately. I am so loving this. This is so pretty. Lorac makes such good eyeshadows. So good. So I'm gonna use a new liner that I picked up. This is from Charlotte Tilbury. Come on, who's surprised that I bought something from Charlotte Tilbury? This is the Rock and Kohl in Smoky Gray. I don't really have a gray eyeliner and I thought, wow, gray might be good for fall, right? Right, so we're gonna try this today. I'm gonna line my lower and top waterline and I'm gonna put a little bit along the lash line using a angled shadow brush. Never mind, I can't find my angled shadow brush, so I'm gonna just put it close to the lash line using the actual pencil. I am loving this, you guys. These eyes look so pretty. I love these shadows. I am gonna smoke out my lower lash line just a touch. I'm gonna take a smudgy brush, a little smudger brush from Sigma. This is the E21. I use this a lot, I really like it. And I'm gonna use Soft Taupe because I don't want it to be too dark of a smoke. I just wanna have something there in the bottom to kind of balance out the top. I'm gonna throw a little bit of mascara on my lower lashes and then we will be done with the eyes. All right, eyes are done. I'm gonna put just a little bit of powder on my face because today I am going to use a powder bronzer and a powder blush. So I just kind of want to put like a very, very light layer of powder down so that those like blend evenly. Bronzer is done. My apologies. My camera stopped recording and I didn't realize it. I like this bronzer. It goes on very evenly, it blends nicely. It's a nice like creamy powder. I will say, it too has a fragrance. Now, this fragrance doesn't bother me as much. I don't think it's as overpowering as the fragrance in the foundation, but there's definitely a little bit of like a light floral perfume that's in here. To me, this is okay. Like, this is fine. This won't bother me. I just want to point it out because since I did mention the fragrance of the foundation, I want to be sure to mention that this definitely does have a fragrance in it. Now, the reason for me that this is not like so much of a big deal is because this is not going like directly on my skin. I have a foundation on, I have a powder on, and if I'm using a powder bronzer, then I'm basically always wearing something under it. I never put powder foundation straight on my face without putting other products on first. So this I don't think is going to irritate me at all, but I did want to mention the fragrance just because I made such a fuss about the foundation. All right, for blush, I'm actually going to cheat, you guys. This is not new to me, but it is new in general. This is the Melt Raw Honey Blush. I love this. I got this last month and I have been playing with it ever since. I think it is so beautiful. So I got Raw Honey. This one is like the more mauvey color. So I'm gonna go in with that on my cheeks today because I just think it's such a beautiful color. And it is new. It's not my first time trying it, but it is new. Oh, it's just so pretty. The finish definitely has like a very like almost metallic-y, but not in a way that bothers me. I'm very weird about finishes, so if it was like too metallic, I wouldn't like it, but I definitely think like there's a good bit of like a metallic shine to it. It doesn't look overly unnatural though, so I can get on board with this. Like, I love that color so much. And mine, I've heard different things from different folks. Mine smells like honey in a way that I love. Like, I have to get really close to it, but if I get really close to it and I smell it really deep, it smells like honey and I love it. I love honey. I love bees. My dad actually has bees and they make honey. So, fun fact, my dad, the farmer, the beekeeper, what can't he do? He's pretty fantastic. Even though this is like a very highlight-ish blush, I am gonna go in and use this new Dior Backstage Glow face palette that I just picked up. I got the rose gold one. These are new. Let's see, what shades am I gonna use? I think I'm gonna mix the gold pearl and the rose. This one is a sheer finish and this one is a shimmer. So I'm just gonna mix those two together on like a little Real Techniques highlighting brush, or actually I think this is called the setting brush, but I always use this brush for highlighting. So I'm gonna mix those two shades and I'm gonna highlight with that just because I want to be, I don't know, let's just glow today. I'm filming this on a Friday. You won't see it until a Monday, but I'm filming on a Friday, so it's the weekend. Let's be shimmery. You can be shimmery on a Monday too though. You can be shimmery any day of the week. I support you in your right to be a shimmer ball. Again, I'm filming this on the end of the week. I'm out of words. I definitely prefer highlights that are like a glow, and this one definitely has that going on. You can see in the center of the face where that's the only highlight I have going on. It's definitely very much like a glow, and it's a little more intense on the cheeks just because the blush has a kind of a sheen to its own. But still, I love the finish of this face of makeup. Like, I really do. I wish there was no fragrance in that daggum foundation because this is just a really nice finish. This is exactly the kind of finish that I like to go for when I'm like feeling a little bit more on like the glowy side. All right, we're gonna finish up with lips as always. I'm trying to think of where I wanna go with my lips because I have so many options, you guys, not kidding. I have 3 lipsticks from Victoria Beckham that I can't wait to try. One is a red. I also have like a rose brown, more of what would be like considered a nude for my skin tone. So I'm actually gonna go with the 3rd lipstick from Victoria Beckham. This is the color Pose. It's like definitely more of like a brownish. It kind of reminds me very much of the 90s, which she says in her website. She says this collection is a flashback to the 90s. So let's try this lipstick on. I need to blot off my lip balm and then we'll try this. I'm not gonna put a lip liner down first. I just wanna see how this goes on its own. This is definitely a little bit sheer. It's not like an opaque coverage. but I really like the finish of that. It's a little bit glossier than satin. I think she called this a satin finish, but I feel like it's just a hair shinier than like a true satin, which I love. I love that. Honestly, I was wanting to try a gloss, but now I don't want to because I feel like I love this lip. I think this is awesome. I love that it's not opaque. I didn't really, I don't know. I don't think I like looked enough to figure out that it wasn't opaque, but it's very lightweight. It's definitely like a little bit sheer, not completely sheer. I would say that this is like, you know, opacity, probably like, I don't know, like 70, 80%. Honestly, I'm in love with this lip color, and I thought that this was gonna be my least favorite of the three, but this is so beautiful. I'm in love with this look. I actually feel, I don't know why I think I feel 90s, because this definitely is not a 90s look. I think it's just because of this lip. Victoria Beckham, you did it again. I am such a fan of Victoria Beckham Beauty. I am not gonna, everything I have tried from that brand has been so nice, and the packaging is so beautiful, so luxurious. So, wow, I'm excited. All right, we are done with the makeup. Just to recap everything, the foundation is definitely a pass just based off of the fragrance. Not a fan of that at all. The concealer I really liked. I'm gonna keep trying that. I wanna see how it works with my other foundations that I use day to day. This Lorac palette is totally a hit. I absolutely love these colors. I love that top row of mattes, and I'm so excited to play with more of these shimmers. They're just beautiful, and I feel like this is a good kind of color story. I feel like this is just classic. Like, this is not gonna go out of style, so I'm really excited to be revisiting Lorac with this palette. So this I just love. I'm excited to keep trying the gray eyeliner from Charlotte Tilbury. I'm interested to see how often I reach for this. I never use black. I don't use gray a lot, but I'm gonna be honest, I really like the way that this is looking against my eyes. My eyes are blue, and they're a little bit of a cooler blue, and I think this is just playing really well with them, at least up close in person it is. So this is something I'm excited to see how much use I'm gonna get out of it. I feel like I'll probably reach for it a good bit. The bronzer's pretty nice. Only time is gonna tell how often I reach for this. I don't know, I don't think I love it as much as I love my Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, so I don't know how much use this guy is going to get, but it is nice. And even though it does have a bit of fragrance, it's not overwhelming and it's not really bothering me. The cheeks, love both of these. I really, really love this blush from Melt and this new Dior Glow Backstage Face Palette. I've wanted one of these for so long. I don't know why I've never picked one up. This is a new one for holiday. I like the glow that it gives, so I think I might get a good bit of use out of this as well. And then finally the lipstick. Oh my gosh, I love this lipstick. Again, not shocking, Posh Spice would never let me down. Never. I thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me. I hope to see you in my next video. Until then, you can always chat with me in the comments down below or over on Instagram. You take care of yourself. Bye.